Hi students, welcome back to today's class. Now we are going to discuss about Unit 5, that is green skills. Okay, so the environment around us affects all aspects of our life. So whatever we are having in our life, no, so everything will be affected by the surrounding. Okay, so that is the environment. Environment around us affects all aspects of our life, like water or food. Okay, whatever we are having in our daily life, no, everything is going to be affected because of the of our surrounding. Okay, all our day-to-day activities also affects the environment. So whatever activities we are doing, that is also is going to affect the environment also. Okay, so those who live in cities get their food supply from the surrounding villages, and in turn are dependent on forests. So surrounding villages, what from there where they are getting these foods and all, they are depending on the forest, grasslands, rivers, seashores for resources such as water, fuel, wood, fodder, etc. Fodder means food items only. Okay, so those who live in cities get their food supply from surrounding villages, and in turn they are dependent on. So that is the city people are depending on what? Forest, grasslands, rivers, seashores, and resources such as water, fuel, wood, fodder, etc. We use natural resources for the food. Okay, everything around us forms our environment, and our lives depend on the natural world around us. Okay, so whatever natural world around us it is located, so every based on that only we our life is running. Okay, so over the years with the economic development, there has been an increase in environmental pollution. Because of the economic development, we are polluting lot of areas. So environmental pollution are increased a lot for the over the years. Okay, for example, with introduction of high input agriculture, we can grow more food by using fertilizers, pesticides, and hybrid crops also grow into large. Okay, but we got a high more food items, but poor environmental condition only we are having. Okay, so but it has led to soil and environmental degradation. So because of this fertilizers and pesticides and hybrid crops and all, no, it is leading to soil and environmental degradation only happened. Okay, so we need to plan the use of resources in sustainable manner. Okay, so that is in a limited manner, or at some level only we need to use it. Okay, so we need to plan the use of resources in a sustainable manner, so that we and our future generations can enjoy the good environment. Okay, so they will be getting the good environment. That is, future generations, they will also enjoy the good environment when we are using the resources, natural resources, in a sustainable manner. Okay, so that is at some level only we need to use it. Okay, we should not consume much, then the future generation won't enjoy the good environment. Okay, so now we are moving on to session 1, sustainable development. So for these following questions, if we are saying answer, then that is when that means we are polluting the environment. We are not we are greedy. We are greedy, very much greedy, and we are not going to give anything for the future generations. Okay, so what questions are given here? Let us see. Okay, so are we planting more trees, or are we only destroying them for our use? And are we saving the water resources, or just polluting them with the garbage? Okay, are we using clean energy, or are we burning wood and petrol and adding to pollution? Are we giving back to nature so that our future generation may thrive, or are we simply using the air, water, and soil available without leaving anything for the future generations to come? If you say for all these questions the answer is yes, means then we are only thinking about our immediate development. For the second questions and all, if you are saying yes for that, so automatically we can say that we are thinking only about our immediate development, and we are not thinking about our long term development. That is, for future generations we are not going to leave any natural resources for their living. Okay, so what is sustainable development means? So sustainable development is the development that satisfies the needs of the present without compromising the capacity of future generations. So future generations should not get affected because of our consumption. So like that, we need to develop in all aspects. Okay, so without compromising the capacity of the future generations, we need to develop and we need to satisfy the needs of our present, guaranteeing the balance between the economic growth. So economic growth also need to be improved and simultaneously we need to care for the environment and social well-being also we need to have. That is, we should not pollute the air, water, and all the natural resources we should not degrade. Okay, so all these things we need to have in our mind whenever we are growing in an economic way. Okay, so what is the importance of this sustainable development? Why we need to have this? Because of so in future generations, no, they won't get anything. They will be getting what all the resources will be like a scarce. Okay, so they won't get an adequate amount. Okay, so that kind of problems will arise in the future. So what is the importance of sustainable development here is, it is using up resources of the world so quickly that our future generations, the young people of the world, would have serious environmental problems. Okay, much worse than those that we are facing at present. At present, whatever problems we are facing, environmental problems, they will be facing much more problems than our case. Okay, so with increasing population and income, the consumption of goods is increasing day by day. So population also on one side it is increasing, and income also they want to increase. Okay, in order to get the food and food items and goods also, the consumption of goods is increasing day by day. So this has led to increase in the production and utilization of natural resources, like trees and all are going to be cutted, and for a building purpose, a construction purpose, or making furniture purpose and making papers, all those purposes and all we are cutting the trees. Okay, so due to that we are degrading our environment. Okay, so it led to increase in production and utilization usage of natural resources which are required for producing goods. Society must thus change its development strategy to a new form. So society need to change its development strategy to the new format. Okay, so where the development will not destroy the environment, like that new format they need to bring it. Okay, so this form of sustainable development can only be brought about if each individual practices a sustainable life cycle. So if every individual, if they are responsible, if every home people are responsible for the sustainable life cycle, lifestyle only, this form of sustainable development can be brought. Okay, since most of the natural resources are scarce now. Okay, so it's very inadequate for us. Okay, so therefore careful utilization of resources very necessary. Okay, so sustainable development is defined as, okay, it is defined by the World Commission on Environment and Development 1987. This is defining sustainable development in the following way. Okay, whose definition is this? World Commission on Environment and Development. This is going to this unit or organization is going to define the sustainable development as development that meets the needs of the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So future generations, if they want to meet their own needs, we should not compromise uh, the future generations resources and all. Okay, so we need to meet the needs of our present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Okay, so this definition was defined by which organization? World Commission on Environment and Development 1987. Okay, so for example, sustainable agriculture consists of environment friendly methods of farming. Okay, so we need to produce our own fertilizers, pesticides, all those things we need to produce naturally. Okay, so so that kind of agriculture need to be produced more. Okay, so for example, sustainable agriculture consists of environment friendly methods of farming that allow the production and agricultural crops or livestock without damage the human or natural systems. It should not affect the natural systems or human beings. Like that, one kind of agriculture we need to form. Okay, it also involves preventing the use of chemicals so as to avoid adverse effects to the soil, water, and biodiversity, because a lot of animals and human beings are living in this world, so they should not get affected because of this pesticides and chemicals which we are giving to the soil. Okay, which we are adding to the soil. So, what are the problems related to sustainable development? So, three major problems related to sustainable development are food, water, and fuel. So, these are the major, for these natural resources only, we will be getting lot of problems in future. Okay, so food, the amount of rich, fertile land needed to grow crops such as wheat, rice, etc. Okay, So rich fertile and fertile land is needed to grow crops such as wheat and rice, etc. So it's becoming less nowadays as we are using up more and more land for other purposes. So if we want to grow lot of rich and fertile if you want to grow the wheat and rice means, okay, so we need to have fertile land and rich land is needed, but it is very very less nowadays because of our usage of lands. Okay, so soil nutrients are also getting depleted. Okay, soil nutrients, whatever nutrients are there in soil, everything is getting depleted, and lots of chemicals are spoiling the soil due to use of the chemical fertilizers. So due to use of these chemical fertilizers, soil nutrients also is getting depleted nowadays. Okay, due to that we won't get enough growth in wheat or rice, no, so that we won't get food items properly for our people count. Okay, and water, we use fresh water from rivers, ponds for drinking and cleaning, but dump garbage into them. So we are dumping the garbage into them. The rivers and ponds are getting polluted. This way after several years we will have no clean water for our use. Okay, even air also. And then fuel, we are using a lot of wood from trees as fuels, and for construction of homes and furnitures purpose we are cutting a lot of trees. Okay, so as more and more trees are being cut, it is affecting the climate of the place. Extreme weather conditions such as floods, extreme cold or heat are seen in many places, which affects the people living there. Even now we are able to see in United States of America, in one place, for a past 1 month forest fire happened. Lot of animals, lot of biodiversity is affected due to this forest fire. So this is the kind of natural disaster like this only we will be getting in the future if weather condition is going very poor condition, that is very hot. If it is going means surely we will also get these kind of problems in the future. Okay, so an environment friendly way for production of power is using solar energy or energy from the sun, which is unlimited. Okay, so this kind of energy we need to produce, solar energy we need to produce instead of depending on the water source or some other sources. Okay, so one major example of large scale production of solar power is seen in Charanka, that is Gujarat solar park. Okay, Gujarat solar park, we have this large scale production of solar power. So this barren land, that is the land which will not usable for suitable for growing crops. Okay, that is only called as barren land, infertile land we will say. Okay, so this barren land with wild vegetation has a mega solar power plant of 600 megawatts power plant they have constructed. So due to this they are earning money also, and the people who are living there, they are getting money through this power stations, and they are getting jobs also through this power plants. And one more thing, they will be getting a lot of electricity also without getting from other states or other states. Okay, so this has reduced the dependence on non-renewable fossil fuels in Gujarat. So some fossil fuels and all we cannot renew it again. Okay, so we cannot reuse it, we reproduce it again. Okay, so that kind of fossil fuels and all, they no need to that consumption is reduced there in Gujarat. Okay, so the people of Charanka have benefited as they have good source of income due to this power plant, solar power plant, and this will also help future generations in the next 40 to 50 years to come. Okay, so sustainable development includes reducing excessive use of resources. Like excessively, we should not use water and even other food items and all. We should not use excessively. Excessive use of resources and enhancing resource conservation. Okay, resources need to be conserved. That improvement need to be done, and we need to reduce the excessive use of resources. Recycling and reuse of waste materials. Waste materials need to be recycled and it should be reused, and scientific management of renewable resources need to be done, especially bioresources. Okay, and planting more trees, we need to plant more number of trees, and then green grassy patches. Okay, and trees to be interspersed. Okay, interspersed between the concrete buildings, that is it should be spreaded between the concrete buildings. Okay, and using more environment friendly material, biodegradable material we need to use. Like we should not carry plastic bags and all, we should use only plastic materials, we should not use it, we should avoid that. So use more environment friendly material which is easily decomposable into the soil. Okay, and use of technologies which are environmental friendly and based on efficient use of resources. Okay, so all these things we need to follow um, in order to maintain the sustainable development. Okay, and sustainable development goals, the sustainable development goals are a universal call of action to end the poverty. So in order to put a full stop for the poverty, and to protect the planet and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. They should have peace and wealth in their life. Okay, so every corner of the people, they need to get this. So for this only, this is sustainable development goals was framed. Okay, so this sustainable development goals were launched at the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit in New York in September 2015. This goals was framed. Okay, United Nations Sustainable Development Summit only, which is located in New York, which has framed these goals in the month of September 2015. Okay, forming the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It has set targets that the countries have to should work towards and achieve by 2030. So these goals, whatever they have mentioned in SDG, everything all the country need to achieve by 2030 year. Okay, so the 17 SDGs, that is 17 goals, has formed under sustainable development, that we will see discuss detailedly in the second session. Okay, so now shortly we can go through the goals which are formed under this sustainable development goals. Okay, so this 17 SDGs have been made with the aim to take care of the important issues facing businesses, governments, and society. So whatever issues are faced by business peoples and governments and society, all these issues related goals only they have framed. Okay, some of these issues are poverty, so there should not be any poverty in any place. Okay, so gender equality, so everyone need to be treated in equal way. And then water usage and energy, that is solar energy or water energy, anything. And the climate change, how we can control the climate changes. And biodiversity, we need to safeguard the all the animals, birds. Okay, where whatever it is living in the world, everything we need to take care of. Okay, so countries are now making policies and regulations that will promote sustainable systems needed in all economic sectors to provide secure and affordable, okay, and sustainable economy. So sustainable economy and affordable economy, secure economy, if every country need to be follow, every country need to follow. Okay, so like that, sustainable systems are framed by using some policies and regulations. Okay, so there are 17 SDGs are given here in order to transform our world. Okay, so first one is no poverty, that is the first goal, and second goal is zero hunger. So there should not be anyone to feel hungry, and everyone need to get proper food. Okay, and good health and well-being, and quality education we need to have. Gender equality should be there, and clean water and sanitation need to be there, and affordable and clean energy, and then decent work and economic growth. We need to work in a decent way, and we need to improve in our economical way. Okay, and industry, innovation, and infrastructure, and reduced inequalities need to be reduced, and sustainable cities and communities, and responsible consumption and production, climate action, and then life below the water. So some many fishes are there that also need to be safeguarded. We should not pollute the ocean also, and then life on land. Okay, and then peace, justice, and strong institutions, and then partnerships for the goals. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals which has formed by the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit in New York. Okay, and the core skills required by a person who wants to contribute towards the environment includes environmental awareness and willingness to learn about sustainable development. So everyone need to know awareness about about our environment, and also willingness to learn about the sustainable development. So how we can improve our economic growth without affecting our natural resources. Like that, everyone need to learn some kind of techniques in order to implement in their business. Okay, so if we are responsible about our life, then we will do our best at home first, and in school, and at our workplace, to help the environment and the people around us. Okay, Next is sustainable development initiatives. When the plastics were banned by the Municipal Corporation of Mangalore, an innovator and entrepreneur, Mr. Avat's heads found an eco-friendly alternative. That is, he made a 100% biodegradable bag which can dissolve in hot water, and also it can be easily decomposed in natural environment. This is now being used in many countries and is going to help the environment. So he introduced biodegradable bag. Okay, so he found eco-friendly alternative for that in order to avoid the plastic bags. Okay, so another innovative idea was to stop the use of plastic spoons, forks, etc. Narayana Pisapati made edible cutlery made out of the grain. So from the grain, he has made edible cutlery items, that is vessels, like spoons, bowls, all those items easily eatable by the human being, and it is, if it is not eatable also, it can be easily decomposed into the soil. So like that, he made some kind of items. Okay, spoons, forks, etc. and all he made out of the grain. These spoons can be eaten, and if they are not eaten, they will easily decompose in the soil, enriching it. It will be enrich the soil content also. If it is going to be decomposed into the if it is going to be thrown into the soil, it can be easily decomposed. Okay, and a sustainable process. Some practices such as organic farming, vermicomposting. Okay, organic farming, we all know that we need to use natural fertilizers only, like cow dung, all those things only we need to use it for in order to make organic farming. And then vermicomposting means we can make our own fertilizers with the help of some worms and variety of worms. No, we can make it in order to give some kind of nutrients, and for decomposition process and all, we can go for this composting. And rainwater harvesting, in order to protect our waters. Okay, safeguard our water resources and all, we can go for this rainwater harvesting. Okay, so are being used to help preserve the environment. Organic farming is where farmers do not use chemical pesticides or fertilizers to increase their production. They use organic and natural fertilizers such as cow dung to help in growing crops. Okay, so this helps in better quality chemical free crops, while at the same time maintaining the soil quality for the future use. Okay, this is true example of sustainable development, where we are not only using the earth resources but are also preserving it for our future generations. We are not only safeguarding the environmental resources, we are bringing back, we are going to give the uh, full resources properly to the next generations. Okay, so next, in the next video, we will see about session 2, that is our role in sustainable development. What are the roles we need to follow in order to bring sustainable development in the environment. Okay, so that we can see in the next video. Thank you.